We are here to bring you everything and anything surrounding Porsche. I'm Mike.
I'm Aaron.
And this is P-Car Talk.
All right, welcome to another episode of P-Car Talk. We are at Sebring.
Yep.
With our special guests, Pete and Rick, our resident race car driver now. It's going to be like our checking in with you, see what's going on with the car, all this kind of stuff, right? Like, how's it holding up, brother? Like, no, but like this is like our second home, so we come here all the time. And I know people that have listened to prior episodes, they're gonna hear a little bit of beautiful flat sixes in the background, and some other noises, but we won't talk about that, right? But thanks for coming on the show again, guys.
Absolutely.
And,
thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's pretty cool that Suncoast comes down and helps support this event. So let's talk about that a little bit. When you guys do come to the track, you guys end up bringing, basically a support trailer, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're just, track support, consumables, fluids, all brake stuff, and then a little merchandise here and there. So hats, shirts, stuff like that, mugs.
Nice.
So we can save a weekend, or we can fill your cup of coffee.
Exactly, right? Get you a t-shirt if you need one, just in case you sweated through the other one on the last session, and get you some brake pads, right?
Yep, exactly.
Didn't you guys already have somebody come to you today about brake pads?
Yeah, we had a guy that needed some front pads, and we had them in stock, and he said, man, you saved my weekend. So he gets to run the second two today and all day tomorrow.
Look at that, guys.
Yeah, that's why we do it.
Yeah. Local dealers supporting the track event and also participating in the track event. That's what it's about, man.
It's a win-win to me.
Yeah, it's a good time, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about, so you bought a roof box from Suncoast, right?
It's giant.
Yeah.
Turns out, it was hand delivered and then hand returned because
I
didn't bring my keys to the roof bars. And so
does that need keys?
Well,
to unlock?
Apparently it does.
Oh.
He knows that now.
Yeah. The more you know. Just jokes. But hey, thanks for Rick for setting that up with us. That's going to be vital with us traveling in the next few months, because we're going to be at Road Atlanta, we're going to be at HSR, so we have our gear that we need to take places. So
Mike carries a lot of things.
Yeah, right.
Speedy bag is huge.
I put it in a laundry bag and just turn the shirt inside out, and I'm good to go, right? No, but thank you guys for that as well, because we get all of our parts from you guys, and you guys are so good about that stuff and getting it in quick, and we really appreciate that. So yeah, thanks for supporting us on that end too. So this guy is so funny. He's freaking the keys and
one job, Aaron.
So the story, let's just walk through it for a second, because it's pretty funny. Like, I think Rick and I kind of picked up on, like, you were kind of stalling, and we kind of figured out there was something wrong there.
Yeah,
because they're just like, all you gotta do is unlock this, and he's like, face is buried in the instruction booklet.
I'm looking, I'm like,
he's like, well, maybe I don't need keys to unlock this. Maybe there's somewhere else in here that I can get to this, and it's like, nope.
Well, see the way
face of defeat.
Well. The way that I had seen it go on is the way it goes on. It's just after the bars are unlocked and the bolts go through the rails, and there's other things that happen. Apparently, I skipped that part.
Yeah.
Well, now everyone knows.
Yeah. One minor detail, right? Oh, keys.
Yeah, don't lose those.
Yeah.
So it's just important. PSA.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Keys.
So what's going on this weekend? What's happening at Sebring here right now?
So this is we're here with PBOC Florida, so Porsche BMW Owners Club.
Okay.
This is their annual Kids Racing for Life charity event. So they fly in families that have terminally ill children, and for about an hour they get to go for hot laps, and it's
what a great cause.
They join the 100-mile-an-hour club, and
that's cool.
It can bring big positivity to one of these kids.
Yeah,
it's just an awesome event.
Yeah, big morale booster, right?
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Awesome event, and that's great that you guys are participating in it too. Excuse me. What a great cause, right? Cars, and then helping kids out too. So that's a great thing.
Yeah,
awesome.
We're always happy to be part of this one.
Yeah. So how's the 718 running?
Yeah.
I know we drove it on the street, so I know it's built for this, built for the track essentially.
Yep.
So how were your laps this morning?
They were good. There's a lot of traffic out there. But we did a couple little things to it. We went with a wider front tire.
Okay.
We got fresh tires on this weekend.
Nice.
Well, two things help.
Yeah, right. Tweaked the alignment a little bit, and we added the Soul competition exhaust system.
Yeah.
So it's
Nice.
the valved exhaust.
How's that holding up?
It hasn't flown off yet.
Yeah.
So
it hasn't fallen off the car. That's a big plus, right?
So
that's a win.
That's a win-win.
Right.
It sounds great. It looks great.
Yeah. So you're saying Soul makes a quality product,
Absolutely.
right?
I highly recommend them.
Nice.
Yeah, John at Soul has been awesome for us.
Yeah, that's great.
We'll check in with him when we get back and let him know how it's going.
Absolutely, right. Yeah, we've talked to him a couple of times. What a great guy. Yeah, that's awesome. So I think you're going to take Aaron out a little later today and try to get him sick, right?
Yep.
So that should be fun.
It might happen. We'll see.
Hopefully he will get sick. No,
That's
no, I'm
my
just kidding.
Hopefully
Like,
not.
no,
Not your
I don't.
helmet.
I don't want him to get sick. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want him to get ill. That would be awful. No, but so like, what are you? I'm assuming you're putting, calculating your lap times. So what time?
Yeah.
What times are you putting down right now?
The first, so I always kind of pull it back in the morning.
Okay.
And then I took one of our girls out, so I'm only like 5 seconds. I was running with her. I was running about 5 seconds off my time. But,
Okay.
I've done 225s in the car.
Nice.
So with fresh tires, it's
moving.
Yeah.
It should be in 223. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out now by myself. So I'll be
Yeah.
able to, car's warm, tires
Yeah.
are good to be able to throw it down.
Track's hot,
Yeah.
ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Put down some nasty laps.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
I mean, it competes. So
Yeah. Did you have any drama on the first session? Anybody crash? Anybody wipe out? What happened out there?
Yeah, there was about maybe 3 or 4 laps in. There was a Viper that went off straight off into the
Ooh.
tire wall. So
Viper.
I checked on him. He's okay. Yeah.
least he
So it
found
was a friend
tires.
of a friend, and he's
Yeah.
good. So, but it's you don't
Car's
see that.
wounded, ego's wounded, but
Right.
everything else is okay.
Yeah, but yeah, he's okay. So that's
the
good.
most important part, right? So yeah, everybody's out here having fun. And sometimes people try to be a hero, I guess. Maybe. No.
Yeah, that first
Or
section.
just
sometimes
feeling
you
it
go
out.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go a little later. Oh.
Yeah. Too late. Too late. Yeah.
So-
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what's new? I know the last time
Yeah.
we popped in at Suncoast, you guys were kind of in the middle of inventory. Are you still doing that? What's happening
Man, you
there?
guys finish yet?
We just finished that. So yeah, we're getting back to normal. So
Okay.
it's a big team effort. We've got a new website in the works.
Yeah.
So kind of updating that. So
Nice.
excited about that. So,
992s are dropping now, so
Yeah,
if you need
right.
some- if you need some stuff, we got them.
Right.
Yeah,
So
right.
we have 992 parts and accessories, and then we do also have take-on parts and accessories already. So
Oh, nice.
so we already have winter wheel sets. If you
There
guys
you go.
need them. So we're ready.
Yeah. And then also you have parts for a GT4 RS in the catalog somewhere, right?
Possibly.
Possibly. Maybe,
Who
maybe
knows?
not.
No
But
comment.
yeah, that's
Can't
funny.
Confirm or deny.
No, but I'm sure you guys have seen the spy footage on
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's pretty cool though, right? That
Yeah.
it's actually
Some
coming
version
out.
of that is coming.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Friends that live there keep sending me pictures. Hey, you seen this?
Oh man.
Yeah. Speaking of which, there's a new GT4 running around out here today, right?
Yeah,
That's
there's
pretty
Yeah.
cool to see.
718 Club Sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks like
Very
it's a
cool.
fresh car, and
Yeah,
he's
super.
out there shaking it down.
Sounds
Yeah.
great too.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds pretty epic, right? And what a great time of the year. And then you guys had some cool inventory recently come in, right? You had all your 992s come in for
Yep.
all your customers, and we did check that stuff out. And then also the Speedster, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How about
So
that?
wow, yeah, Suncoast. Probably the only one I've seen so
I
far. I
haven't
mean,
seen really any posts from any
post a
dealers
comment if I'm
anywhere.
wrong, but I mean they've had it for a couple weeks now. So by the time you listen to this, there'll be other people that have them. But they were probably one of the first in our areas, like the whole region probably had one.
Yeah, that's
at
a
least.
special car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I like the bat wings that go
Yeah.
up. Like,
Yeah,
it's
like
really
they're
cool.
little like.
Yeah.
That was cool. Warren got to put it up and down for you, just so you
Yeah.
can see the magic of it.
Exactly. That was really nice of him to do that too. I know he didn't have to do that for us, and thank you guys for letting us come down and see it. I know we were in Chicago when we were texting, and you're like, I saw the picture and I was like,
Yep.
wait a minute, is this at your shop right now? Is this here? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, and we're in Chicago.
Immediately he looks at me. Guess where we're going this week?
I was like, guess what? Because we just had landed in Chicago, and I saw that like on Instagram. I was like, so guess what we're doing when we get back? We're going there to see them because we need to see this car.
Because we got to see the
Yeah.
concept at Rensport, which I thought was
Yeah.
epic.
I mean, I saw
Yeah.
the car at Goodwood, and I saw it run up the hill, and I got to get close and touch it and all that kind of stuff. But not that it was a bad color. It was in Guards Red, which is kind of cool. But it was nice to see kind of like a classic look.
Yeah.
This
Mhm.
one,
I agree.
Right.
So it was nice to see it that way as well, and kind of where nobody was mobbing, and it was like just us there. So it's kind of cool to
kinda
look
nice.
at it.
Right.
He even moved his tangents for us. That was cool. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's cool.
You're taking all the details.
Yeah, exactly.
I was still
right?
surprised at how manual the up and down process was.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, that's really engaging.
Right. Right.
Well,
Versus-
that was shocking, right? Like when
Yeah.
we saw him do that, and I was like, wow, you were involved in this
Right.
process,
Right.
whether you want to be or not. So
I get the whole weight savings thing, but I was like, I don't know if I'm spending that much. I'm be too thrilled about putting the top of them down. But again, I'd probably just leave it down.
Yeah,
I was,
So.
I was
did you,
gonna
did
say.
you get to see underneath the clamp?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Rick
all
was showing us like we were
carbon,
looking at
right?
all that
It's
stuff.
incredible.
Wow, it just the way everything was designed too underneath. And then there was
Yeah,
like
the diffuser.
NACA too underneath, right?
Yeah,
Remember that you
yeah,
were showing
yeah,
like
on the exhaust.
Yeah,
So-
NACA ducts for the exhaust. I was
guess
like, I don't
to
think I've ever
cool
seen
the-
this before.
To cool the valve for it or
Yeah.
something like that.
That's
It's
what it
really
looked like
weird.
it went to.
I
Yeah.
bet you that's almost the same thing they used for the new GT4s. when they were, because how proud they were of that diffuser underneath. I bet you it's very similar.
Yeah.
Probably.
For getting that downforce in.
Yeah, that's probably the exact reason why it's there and why they were bragging about it so much. It's kind of cool to see it like climb underneath, because I didn't climb under the one at Goodwood, but we got
yeah, you're like, let me get under here and see what it's about.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna probably get my face stepped on. There were so many people there. It's like I'm not getting on the ground. I mean, I'll probably get trampled. But yeah, it was nice to get up close and personal with that. That's pretty cool. So like, we did a Turbo S review, we did a Targa 4S review. So I didn't see those cars the last time we were there. Did they end up selling? Do you know?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, they're all gone. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's cool. So you guys turn in inventory pretty good too,
Right.
especially on the used side, huh? Like,
Yeah, used cars move really well with us.
yeah.
So what's next for you guys to review? What car haven't you done?
Ooh,
So
next weekend?
yeah, next weekend we're gonna do a new 2RS, and then we're YSOC package.
Nice.
And then we're going to do a
An
GT3,
08, yeah.
a new one, YSOC package one, and then
An 08 GT2.
yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah. So yeah,
That'd be
one of the OG ones. So we got
Nice.
all that coming up. So that's some good
Couple
stuff,
other things, too.
Yeah, yeah, right. And a couple other things, yeah. But whatever. I mean, we're pretty open for everything. We're trying to just stay variety, right? Like we just want to give everybody an impression on anything. Like we just did the Macan where we're S with you guys, and thank you for providing that. And we're not opposed to anything else, like Boxster or whatever, even new ones. Like,
Yep.
especially we're getting into that nicer weather. We'll definitely pay, like
Top down.
hitting you guys up for that.
Yeah,
when we
right.
come down there, where we're like, hey, it's actually nice out now. So can you give us a topless car, and and we can move on with that. So I think that'll be a kind of good thing. So
The Turbo S was good for me. At least it was eye-opening, because I always, for some reason, picture it executive, cushy GT style car for some reason. But nope,
right?
not in the
More-
least bit.
More
No.
violent.
Yeah, exactly. It's a man that.
Those cars are a blast.
Yeah, the only thing I wish, obviously, you can't control the weather and you can't control the elements,
Yeah.
but man, I really wish we would have got that Turbo S in the dry. That would have been really nice. And it was like, because we just had to be so docile with it the whole
Yeah.
time, because we didn't want to get bit by it. So it was just kind of like, all right, we need to be careful. And you can just tell that car is just meant to just boogie, man.
Yeah, those things move.
Yeah. And it was just the crackles from the factory too on that thing are just so menacing. It's nice. But back to the GT2 when we drove the 992 what we drove this past week. So like on the induction on the top part of it,
It's so good.
they did something like with the GT cars, because after 5,000 it starts to make that howl
Yeah, the
that
same
it
how
does.
you get off a
That- so-
GT3 or GT2
Yeah.
RS. It's that same intake noise. It's
yeah.
there.
Yeah, so we spent about 6 hours with it. I was at Wednesday,
Yeah.
driving it, like just beating the piss out of it basically all day long, and it's impressive. It's an impressive car.
You put an exhaust on that car and you're done.
Yeah.
That's it. Game over.
Yeah, yeah. So we were fortunate enough, they let us, have the car for most of the day, and it was really nice. Like in what I always tell people, I've seen it when they first launched it. Like I think it was in February when they just had a static display, and it was in yellow. I think it was in speed yellow. I don't really think yellow works for that body style. I think
No.
the blacks and the silvers, because it is kind of big, but it's not like negatively big. Like over in pictures, it actually looks worse than it is in person. I think, and personally, like size wise.
Yeah.
Because in person, when you see it, you're like, yeah, it's big, but it's not that big. Like I think everybody over exaggerates. And then even in the cabin, during the review, Aaron made a good point too. It still feels tight, So like the door sills are wide. Obviously, there's a wide
Yeah,
gap,
it's
almost
a
kind of
little
like
bit
on
of a Lotus effect.
Yeah,
where
like
it's
on a-
like wide
Yeah,
door seal,
step
but
out
it's
of
still,
it,
yeah.
like a big monocoque, like where you have to like step over it. It kind of feels that way, but they put the seats closer together, which is nice too, though. But it's a good layout. I mean, I can appreciate it for the most part. It's a healthy price tag. I mean, that's for sure. But I mean, they all are, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we could split hairs over price all day long, but what's the point of that, right? So-
Yeah, just get a new one.
Yeah.
But what were some of the highlights that you enjoyed about that?
I like the modern design. I mean, that's I said it in the video when we reviewed it, but they really, instead of keeping everything round, everything would have more of a sharp edge to it. Things were floating. The dash is floating. The dials are floating. You can see everywhere where everything accentuates. The side mirrors have a hard line, but it matches that line in the steering wheel, which matches the rear, and the air vents, which matches it.
Have you
It
guys
just is-
noticed that with the ones that you've got had inside when you had a chance to look at it? Have you noticed like the floating pieces, like the centerpiece where
Where it's got the gap.
the gap?
Yeah,
There's
even on
like
the
where
steering
it's-
wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
we
matches,
were just
yeah.
we got in an Alcantara GT steering wheel, which I don't think's out yet. That
Uh-huh.
you can order, but we were
No big deal.
kind
Nice.
of messing around. So it's really
Nice.
cool Alcantara. But as we were looking at it, all the pieces on the back. I mean, there's a lot of detail that just unless you really look at it, you can't see all the detail of it. So.
Yeah. It looks like somebody went nuts with like a 3D printing machine or
exactly.
something like, right?
It really does.
Oh, that was the other thing we noticed too, and we don't know if it was just the Carrera S, but a lot less leather wrapped around everything. Like there's just that leather around where the door pockets and stuff, but around the handles and everywhere else is more of a plastic. Even the trim, it seems more. I guess probably save the environment stuff, but.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I could appreciate it because it seemed like a good wearable item. Like if you wanted to keep the car for a while, it was more of kind of it seemed durable.
Right.
As opposed to something it's just going to get matted up. I mean, Alcantara's nice, but let's be real. If you're going to daily, a C2S, you don't really need Alcantara, everywhere. It doesn't need to, like, the Alcantara monster doesn't need to throw up inside the car and just, here you go. One of those type of deals. But yeah, he did mention it. I don't know if it was plasticky, though, because it did feel a little ABS plasticky, like in certain areas, which kind of felt a little strange. And I don't know if that was just a particular one the way it was spec'd, the one we drove, because it was a demo. So it might have been just spec'd for durability for that reason. I don't really know. I didn't ask. But, I mean, for the most part, like performance-wise, it was a monster.
Still great throwing on some AC seats and just ripping.
Right.
Yeah.
That is never a bad day.
I mean, I turned the traction off and all that kind of stuff, and it gets loose fast, like really fast. So, I mean, and then the nice thing, a lot of people I think don't talk about, and we talk about this more detail in the review, everybody complains about the shifter and the size, and I'm sure you guys have realized it because you've probably sat in the car at least or inspected it. If you start to look at the function of it, is if they had a taller shifter, there's that vent behind it, and there's toggle switches behind it.
Yeah, you can't read it.
So then you would have to reach over the shifter to access that stuff. So people would bitch about that.
Right.
So it's like they can't.
Always something.
You can't win almost. So people are like, "Oh, that shifter's stupid." Okay, well, it's actually it comes from a place of function, because now you can access the vent and the toggle switches that are behind it. Because otherwise, if it was too tall, you'd be doing this like funky reach over move, which I'm sure everybody and their mother would complain about too. So,
and if you take a look at the 918, you'll see that shifter looks very familiar.
Exactly, it's on it. It's just in a different location.
Yep.
Yeah, right. It's like up by the dash. That's all it is, instead of like in the center. So, but yeah, I think it's a great car. Of course, we're Porsche fanboys, but we're also brutally honest, as you guys know too. And I think optically, when you see it, isn't as big as people seem to think it is. And as it shows up in a picture, everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's a behemoth." But I mean,
you definitely see where the Taycan just extend it a little bit, and you have a 911 or take it away. I mean, you see it. That design language is that's their new thing now. You can see that's where the line's going.
Yeah, and I think the interesting part about it too is, like, it didn't feel big.
No.
Driving it, like, it tracked very well, like a 911 should. It didn't feel bulky. It didn't feel, sloppy or clumsy at all. It was still scalpel. It was still all of those things that you expect in a new 911.
But it looked really cool to see those. Look at the side mirrors and see those big arches in the back, though. That was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool to see those flares out.
I think one of Aaron's least favorite part about that car is the spoiler action, right? Like, you don't like.
Yeah, I don't like it. It
Beetle.
looks more like a beetle. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's just that. I don't know.
It looks like an insect opening.
Yeah,
it's like butt or something. Like,
I wish they did. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't matter if they did something like the Panameras, where it kind of separated out into an actual wing or something.
Yeah.
Or I'm sure that's more moving parts, more something they can break. But
of course,
it's probably that wing shape is probably the most break or most downforce possible. That's probably the other thing too.
Yeah, and I think they said, I don't know, and you guys might know better than us. And correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't they claiming that this Carrera can do 200 miles an hour? Weren't they saying something like that? This is a 200 mile an hour Carrera or something like that?
I remember hearing something.
Okay,
about
yeah,
that.
I thought so too.
Right
Yeah, they were like, well, I think this is this is our first like 9. Yeah, exactly.
We got it.
Exactly. This is our first 200 mile like from factory Carrera or something like that. I don't know. Either way.
All right. Well, I don't want to dip out on the second date. But,
no, definitely go get it. Go get ready.
I'm going on track.
No, yeah, we expected you to leave, so go have fun out there, be safe, and
appreciate it.
we'll be looking for you.
All right. Talk
to you in
Thanks
a
for
bit.
coming on.
Godspeed.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, bud. Yeah. Don't die, right?
Don't die.
Break a leg, kid.
Yeah, don't die. So Pete's off to go hit the track, and we thank him for coming on for a little bit. We just kind of wanted to catch up with you guys since you're at the track and talk to you guys a little bit about the event, since it's such a great event and you guys help support this event. And, I'm glad we could come back out. And, I'm sure we'll be seeing you. Actually, we're going to see you.
I'll be seeing you this week. If
very soon,
Mike
right?
and I won't be, just please be me.
Yeah, at a minimum, Aaron will be seeing you to come pick up his box again
See
from
what
you.
taste, see what it looked like. Put it back. You know how it is.
Who knows? We'll make a day of it. Maybe we'll do come down and visit again. And if you got something on the lot, maybe we'll go drive around, beat it around, see what you have. But that's great. So inventory's wrapping up, huh?
Yeah, we're getting ready
New
for Black
website.
Friday.
When's the new website going to be up and running?
I'm thinking if all goes to plan, hopefully November, December.
Oh,
Okay.
So
Nice.
soon. It's a slow process.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just freshen up.
Yeah,
so.
and stay tuned, guys. Like Rick told me some inside baseball. I'm not going to spoil it for him, but stay tuned for some Black Friday stuff from these guys.
Mark your calendars.
Yep.
Because they got some really juicy special stuff coming. And like I said, I'm not going to ruin it for them, but you definitely want to be either on their newsletter or paying attention to what they're doing.
Get on that email list.
Yeah, seriously, because I think I'm gonna try to get ahead of that tomorrow. I'm like, hey, can I get one of those before you actually release this into the wild type of deal? So yeah, I think that's a really, really cool thing coming up. And wow, the holidays are going to be upon us before we know it, right? Mm-hmm. So time is flying, and here we are at the track enjoying ourselves, and maybe start to get some of our Florida winter here finally. So yeah,
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So for your car, Rick, what all? I mean, you obviously did a parade lap. Do you have anything done to it? I don't know if we've ever done a rundown.
No, I've just done the pretty stuff. I'm pretty lame on that front. So probably a chip someday.
Yeah.
But the only other thing I did do is exhaust. So I did the AWE track system. So it's loud.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That doesn't do anything with your warranty, does it?
No.
Okay.
No. Well,
good.
in theory it shouldn't, because it's there's nothing electric connected to it.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
what could go wrong?
Yeah. It could fall off, right?
Right.
Just kidding. But sweet, man. So you got to do some very docile parade laps. I know I was like, there's a lot of traffic. We didn't really get to open it up a whole lot.
On the straightaway, I think we hit 40, so that was a little heartbreaking.
Your one opportunity, you're like, this is where we can go fast. This is where we can go fast, guys. Right. No, awesome. Well, we didn't want to take too much of your time. We just wanted to bring you guys on, talk about the event, talk about you guys being here, supporting the track. We love Sebring, love seeing you guys. So, just wanted to do a quick pop in, and then, we'll go on a quick break, and then we'll come back with some more news that we have on the backside, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Thank you guys listening to PCAR Talk so much. We appreciate you guys so much. I can't say that enough. Please go to pcartalk.com and check that out. We have a virtual membership on there. We are on there on Tuesdays meeting with you guys. Become a virtual member. We would solely appreciate that so much. Also check us out on YouTube. We release videos on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Help support the channel. Everything we're doing is trying to bring the community closer together. We definitely appreciate that. Also, when you go onto YouTube, if you could subscribe, maybe pass it along, make a comment, we really appreciate that. Again, circling back to pcartalk.com, there is a newsletter created on there. Please put your information in there. That way we can keep you up to date on anything that's coming forward and anything that we're going to be doing moving forward, and all the exciting things that are coming out. And again, the virtual membership is on pcartalk.com. Now back to the show.
We are back from break. The magic of camera technology. We were at Sebring. Now we're back in the studio. How do you like that? Bam. So just kind of wanted to do like a second half of that show, go over a couple news things. In addition to that, talk about this topic of this actual, I'll just get into it instead of trying to beat around the bush. So special edition GT4 Club Sport 15th anniversary celebrating.
Yep, that's white with some red on it.
Yeah, exactly. Same horsepower, same foot-pounds of torque, 414 horsepower, 310. Basically, this is an appearance package, right?
It's an appearance package for a series that's only ran in Europe.
Yeah. So if you're a baller in Europe, I guess you can get one of these because they're limited edition. They're only being sold in Germany. It's going to be a 6-speed. I'm sure some super wealthy people out there.
Now is that a difference? Because I would expect a lot of those cars to be a PDK car for the
series. Maybe because it's a celebration car. It's not meant to be raced. It's meant to be collectible.
Okay,
I can see it. It said it was a 6-speed.
Okay.
So it didn't say anything about PDK. They only come in white.
So I know somebody who's in love with white cars out there. So hint, hint, maybe you can pull some strings. You have a lot of contacts. So I know this car is only sold in Germany, but I'm sure it wouldn't be too hard to get it over here. But being a club sport, obviously it can't be legally registered.
Yeah, he gets on the track so much it wouldn't matter. But yeah, I mean that's a pretty cool.
Or he could do one of our buddies that deals and put the dealer tag on it, and it's infinitely for sale at some astronomical price, and then they get to end up on the road somehow. I don't know.
Don't know how that happens. But yeah, I mean, it looks cool, and it will be collectible because the new GT4 is on its way, and it's new Club Sport version or Club Sport
will be collectible just because it doesn't get to come to the U.S. That's another thing too. Remember, like 964 RS, 993 RS, those cars didn't come here. I know this isn't an RS, but it's still Club Sport. It's a CS, and even they made G-body CSs back in the day, and a lot of people don't even know about those cars. And there's a few of them floating around at a very high dollar in the U.S. I think there was all of like 15 or 20 of those in the world.
I didn't know they made those.
Yeah, so you just got educated right there.
Yeah, look at that.
Boom, drop some knowledge on you. But yeah, I think Zuckerman has one.
Figures.
And a couple other folks that are pretty big collectors have them. But anyways, a super special car and a little bump in horsepower, but nothing outrageous. Obviously, it was just a limited number. It was a club sport. It was a little bit lighter. Had some, lacking things that as opposed to other cars that came from the factory had on it. But it's a cool car in its right just because it's a club sport. So I'm sure these will be valuable someday. Even more so on this side of the pond just because we didn't get them initially and people are going to fight.
Make it limited.
Yeah, they're going to fight over them. So interesting nonetheless. Just wanted to bring that up because that was news that was released, and it segues right into a perfect thing that you rode in the 718 Cayman.
I did.
On track as a co-pilot, and the Suncoast race car. We've driven that track. Yep. We did a review. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's on YouTube. We drove that on the street, but Aaron actually experienced that car on the track under some hard conditions.
Full bolt-ons, and it was
super tune on it, and so I'll let you have the floor for a little bit. Tell us about it. What'd you think? What was your feedback?
I felt like it was good. It was quick. It was definitely quick. I mean, Pete really pushed it. He got to let the tires get warmed up that first lap like normal, and then he really started getting on it and catching things. I could see where you would, you can get to a pretty high degree in the tuning and tunability of the Cayman S. And I don't know why you wouldn't do that if you have one. Let's like right now, just go buy all the bolt-ons and the tune to make it that capable. Because the amount of car that you can get before you need to upgrade to a GTS or a GT4 is amazing.
Yeah.
He was keeping up with anything pretty much that was on the track that day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there was GT3s and all that kind of stuff out there, right?
And he was getting to slide around, but it was so controlled and composed.
Yeah.
For being a street car.
Did it hook up? He was running sticky tires. Did it hook up pretty good while I was out there? Obviously, I could see you when you were coming down the main straight.
There wasn't any time where it was just sliding around. It was hooked. Yeah. Every apex, everything. Do
you recall what kind of times you guys were putting down?
I wasn't paying attention that much to his times, because I know that we came in and we broke for the one where he thought he had something in the tire, and then he did, and it was just rock or whatever.
I remember. I think when we had him, he was saying something about 2.
Yeah, it's in the 2s, but okay. I'm not specific on it.
Okay, I was just wondering how much you weighed the car down, so I didn't know.
Oh yeah, how much I slowed it down. Beard's heavy.
Yeah, that's what was heavy. But for the most part, the odd part about that car is inside the cabin of the car. Obviously, racetrack noises are different than street noises. Car's a lot louder on the street, but in comparison, obviously, the cars that were on the racetrack, the car sounded really muted compared to those going by.
We had the windows down too.
Yeah. So from inside the cabin, do you recall? You were wearing a helmet too, so it's probably buffering some of the noise.
Yeah, that may have been some of it.
Did you at least? I guess your sound is probably not a good thing to ask you, but how about sensation of speed? How was that? Did you feel it was fast, or did you feel
it was just so good? You don't realize. Well, Pete's a good driver. He's got almost 2,000 laps on that track. to feel. I mean, it just felt like there was momentum, but the sense of speed, you didn't know that you were doing 90 miles an hour because everything else was
Like
also
in a turn.
moving. Because everything else was moving within that same speed.
So it's fluid. It wasn't abrupt. Right?
Exactly.
You weren't trail braking really hard and then trying to pick up a bunch of speed again.
I mean, there was a couple corners where he was into it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you got to see what the brakes really could do. I mean, you're shot for it pretty hard, but outside that, I mean, it didn't feel crazy. It wasn't. There weren't a lot of just abrupt, like dead starts kind of feelings.
Well, Sebring's not that way
Yeah.
anyways. I mean, it's a momentum track, but it's like there's always fluid movement there. So there's never really like a hairpin where you guys are going to die down a lot of speed and try to pick a lot of it back up. So, the car looked good going down the track. You guys looked like you were moving pretty good. It was just odd to me because I was sitting in the paddock as you go by in the car. I could see it coming, and then when it goes by, I was expecting like a much louder noise as it went by, and it wasn't loud at all.
Right. Well, I mean, because you drove it, so you know too. I mean, it made sounds, but it's still valved in some way. It's not all.
Yeah, but everything was wide open though. I mean, even that's the crazy part. It was wide open when you guys were going
Maybe
by.
it's just the turbos in that car that.
I mean, it could have been
quieted down.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. It could have been. There was a lot of other interference noise. Like, to be fair, I mean, there was RSR cars running. There was there were a lot of other. I mean, there was straight piped ACR Vipers running. There's a lot of other cars probably drowning the noise out on that car.
That like 60s or 70s air cooled car. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was a straight piped car. I think it was probably like a twin plug, like 2.8, 2.9 like build. It was insane. But yeah, prime example. Like, you guys' decibel level was significantly lower than those.
But you can drive it home too. Well, I mean, for the most part, they don't. They trailer it more than anything.
Yeah, which is interesting. As far as that, and you and I talked a little bit about this when we were at the track a little bit offline, and I found it to be a little interesting as well. Is how cool is that? And I know we've talked about it before, but Suncoast supports all of that. As far as
anybody racing, if they need pads
Pete's
or
not
whatever.
I was gonna, that's a great point too. But I'm just saying, like, as far as Pete working at Suncoast and others, essentially they have a race car that he has a parts bin for that he doesn't come out of pocket for.
Yeah, it's like a mini race team for himself.
So he goes out there and puts down laps. I mean, that is a sweet deal right there. I mean,
he's able to advertise for those guys while showcasing what Cayman S can do.
Master marketer. We need to get that guy on our team because however he swung that deal.
So I get a car, I get a trailer, I get people with me.
He's like, all right, guys, here's the deal. We sell parts and cars. We should be at the racetrack, but not only should we be selling parts at the racetrack, we should be racing, and I should be the one racing the car. Does that make sense?
And go.
They're like, yeah, I think. He's like, yeah, I know it does make sense. We'll just wrap the car in Suncoast stuff. And, I'm totally joking, but I mean, it is a good advertising. They did help people out already. That, like when we were at the track that we talked about before we went on break. And kudos to them for being there and being supporting and showing a presence, because there's not a lot, and they're not really exactly close to Sebring. So
no, not too much. Probably about as far away as we are.
So to have some type of, I don't want to call it factory support, but some type of...
It is almost like a factory.
Dealership support, I guess, is the better terminology for it. To be at the track to say, hey, and there was somebody, hey, my brakes shot out. I can't participate anymore today unless I can buy the stuff from you right here. And they had it, and he was ready to go. And, obviously you want to be prepared as much as you can, but things do happen, obviously, under those kind of conditions, even to the best teams. So kudos to them for being there. And I mean, everybody thinks maybe that has never been to the track. We've been to a lot of track events. Everybody thinks it's glamorous, it's hot. Maybe you see videos and all that stuff. I mean, not hot. I'm sorry. It's glamorous. It looks sexy. You're sitting there. And what I was going to say is it's super hot.
Yeah, it is.
Like you're sweating to death. It's super hot. And I don't want to say it takes some of the fun out, but you definitely, if you're there, you really want to be there. Let's put it that way.
Exactly. You've been determined to get there, and you want to drive, and you don't. If anything messes that up, that's the worst.
You're not there trying to be like sexy and being like, oh, I go to the track, and then you go back and it's barroom conversation where you go and brag about being at the track because it's a lot of work. You're super tired. You get your butt kicked while you're out there. The heat, the elements, you pay the price. It's a long, long day. And you're there because you want to be there. So anybody who's thinking about, maybe putting a toe in the water and you need to be dedicated. It was where I'm going with that.
Okay, I see that.
So,
but it helps if you have a car and a trailer and everything else, and work pays for it.
Of course, yeah, yeah. Dealership support. I mean, that all helps. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying in general, and I have interest in getting into the track myself. I want to do something.
I want to get better at it.
I want to do something like that, and obviously I probably won't be wheeling a Porsche, to be completely honest with you. Probably spec Miata, something like that. Something affordable, something I can actually... What? I'm just realistic, man. Like, I want to be on the track. I'm not a baller. I'm not going to go out there and wheel a GT3 and risk damaging it on there. I don't have that kind of money, man. I wish I did. But anyways, that's, down the road. Something I want to try to do at some point, but we'll see what's going on with that. So segueing, moving on from that, let's talk about the giveaway for this month before we close out the show. Obviously,
skateboard decks.
We have some skateboard decks supported by Swine11. Thanks, Wes, out there. If you haven't gone to his website, please check him out, swine11.com.
All kinds of stuff.
He has lots of cool stuff on there, a lot of air-cooled stuff. He has stuff like this that we are going to be giving away to our membership. So that giveaway will be happening at the last Tuesday of this month in October. For those who are listening, it's 2 skateboard decks. Yeah, exactly. Both 964s, Maritime Blue, and then Ruby Stone. Yeah, and you only get one of them, guys. So because we're going to do another giveaway for whatever one doesn't get picked, so you definitely want to be the one who wins this month. You get a choice. So you get a choice, and then you'll get a decal pack and stuff like that. It comes along with, and then Aaron and I will find some other goodies that we have additionally that we'll probably give you that's unannounced that we'll probably announce that evening for the members in the goodie bag. But how do you win? Basically, all you have to do is go to pcartalk.com under virtual membership, select a membership, become a member, and quit screwing around, right? So become a member, become part of the team. We've met a couple members all around. Anytime we go to a track, anytime we go to an event, and they come up to talk to us, and we love that so much, and we want to continue to grow the community. But yeah, shameless plug to this month's giveaway. These are super, super cool, and we're super thankful to Wes for donating those. And he's a great guy. He sells some short shifters. He sells a lot of stuff. It's gas flaps. These deck lids are on there as well. But if you're a member, you don't have to buy them. You can actually win them from us. So you have a pretty good opportunity to win something. So you definitely should check that out. I don't have anything else to kind of close the show. I just wanted to do a little wrap up before we closed out the track show. Do you have anything that you want to talk about before we close the door on this one? No, I think it's pretty much, we covered everything. We talked about it. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah. So again, we get to a certain membership point, we're going to shave Aaron's beard. That's the plan. I hear it enough, I'll believe it. It doesn't matter, man, because like the membership is so low right now. If it ever gets to 1,000. If it ever gets to like 1,000, which is infinitely ages away, who knows? We're going to have some ambassadors come on board at the beginning of 2020 that are going to help try to pitch some of this membership stuff to kind of get you guys that are listening on board and to get your mind right. And we'll get you guys set up so you guys can get involved when we have the PCAR Club driver experience, when we all get together and we have our annual club meeting. You want to be a part of that. So the only way to be a part of that is be a member. So, that'll be cool. I'm going to beat you guys in the head till you guys are dead with this thing. So I'm going to be straight up honest with you. So make it happen. We'll catch you on the next one. Be good. Take care. All right. See ya. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of PCAR Talk. Connect with us on Instagram at PCAR Talk or online at pcartalk.com.